So this is a competition, though. Heading in the
There's competition everywhere.
Okay.
There's everywhere. The vets usually, they have a leg up anyways. I mean, they've been – Marcus has started. I mean, people forget in 16, 17, 18, he's a full-time starter. All 3 winning seasons, won a playoff game with them against Kansas City. He's in a completely different place than he was in 19. He has a completely different perspective going through the Raiders. Sat behind Derek Carr. When they needed him, when he was available, he looked pretty good. And so we're going to get the best version of Marcus Mariota. And whoever ends up playing, we're certainly going to look different. It's going to be an exciting brand. I mean, it's going to look different back there, and I'm ready to get going.
And exactly what version is that, Arthur Smith? Hold that thought, because we're going to talk about that in a minute. The best version that I would like to see from Marcus Mariota. Other than that, man, before we get started, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do. And also hit that notification bell so you can be sure to get all the alerts of JR and my videos when we put them out, especially in the dead period. Look, we know next week minicamp is over, and that means it's going to be a good long little period of break for the Atlanta Falcons until training camp comes up. But JR and myself, we're going to be full at work. We got video breakdowns coming down on what we believe and the type of success we see that this Falcons team can have out of these 3 mobile QBs that they now have on the roster: Marcus Mariota, Desmond Ridder, and Felipe Franks, who they're also working out as a tight end. We also going to talk about the success that Kyle Pitts had in the RPO game with Matt Ryan last season, explosive plays, and how that can continue in 2022 with a ramping up of the RPOs. Also, we're going to talk about what the defense could possibly look like under Dean Pease this year, who has already gone on record saying 100% now he believes that they can actually go through in the playbook as opposed to last year. I think they got the personnel to do it, especially adding rookies like Ebiketie, Troy Anderson, and D'Angelo Malone. Let's see if they can get these guys productive and be able to get that 100% of that playbook together, just like Dean Pease is saying he believes they're going to be able to do. Hey, today we're going to talk about the best versions of players that I would like to see based on some of their best seasons that they had, not just with the Atlanta Falcons, but also with former teams that they were with. And that first person I'm talking about, yes, is Marcus Mariota. I mean, when you look at what this guy did and what John Gruden was able to get out of him with the Chargers, that's the version I want to see. Now, it's kind of skewed with saying that he had 16, 17, 18 winning seasons when he didn't finish a full season in neither one of those 3 years that he had a winning record. But hey, if you give me that Tennessee Titans, 26 touchdowns, the 9 interceptions, about 400 yards rushing, and 3-4 touchdowns, that's cool. But let me have that Chargers game, because that's where, with Marcus Mariota talking about how Dave Ragone and Charles London and Arthur Smith have done a great job thus far allowing him to play free. That's how you're going to get the free version of Marcus Mariota, with the zone reads, the RPO game, being able to just do the play action. Those are the type of things I want to see Oregon Marcus Mariota. We get that version, we got something we're going to work with. And if you can do that, now we can talk about it. Shout out to Chris Jameson, because he really believes in Marcus. He had put out a tweet about Super Mariota. That was very clever, Chris Jameson. But we'll see if this guy's able to actually be what you believe that he can be for the Falcons in 2022. I got a triangle of 3 guys from the same year that they had a good season in my eyes that I would like to see that produced in 2022. And I think the first guy I'm going to talk about, Arthur Smith, would like to see it too, because he mentioned it in his video when he started talking about the press conference, when he started speaking about Grady Jarrett wanting him to have a productive season and replicate what he's been able to do in the past. We all know it was admitted that he's not a scheme fit, but Dean Pease, you got a guy that talented and that much of a leadership quality that you're talking about and bragging about. You got to have some special packages so that this guy can be that 7.5 sack guy with 26 pressures and 10 hurries that he was in 2019. Yes, 2019, Grady Jarrett had arguably one of his best years. And if you can replicate that, Dean Pease, you got yourself something up front. And I believe you got enough distractions now with this next guy that I'm going to talk about that I would love to see the best version of him also from the 2019 to have some success on the front line. You know who that guy is? Yes, we signed him to a one-year deal in free agency. His name is Lorenzo Carter, our former Georgia Bulldog. You know we got to support our Bulldogs. You know how that go. Hey, this guy what caught me when I saw his stats. 78 times he was sent on blitz assignments. Now, this had to get Dean Pease excited. And it got me excited too, because I'm believing maybe possibly we're going to raise up them blitzes a little bit more. Now, of course, you know, they got to be effective to work. You just can't be blitzing just to be blitzing. But the fact that you have that type of flexibility and a guy that can handle that coming off the edge or send on stunts, twist stunts, any of that stuff, now you might have yourself something on that front line and a guy that can possibly produce 7 to 10 sacks, which I believe they believe he can do. He had 4.5 sacks in 2019. And like I mentioned, them 78 blitz assignments he was sent on, 23 pressures. Now, you got his 23 with Grady Jarrett's 26 that they had in 2019. Let's bring that into the 2022 situation. We're going to turn over a lot of balls out there to this secondary that has a lot of potential right now, Atlanta Falcons fans. And many people have been talking and bragging about the additions in the secondary to add with A.J. Terrell. And you got these two young guys right now, safeties, that are going to get a huge chance in Richie Grant in his second year and Jalen Hawkins going into his third year. And they definitely look like and have said they are up for the challenge this year. So let's see if Eric Harris can continue to develop and help grow those guys in that film room so that they can go out and show out for the Atlanta Falcons. My next guy, 2019 in my triangle, you know who it is? It's Auden Tate. Now, I haven't heard a lot about Auden Tate. I'm not sure if he's out right now. Maybe he's rehabbing or he just haven't shown up to the voluntary practices, which they don't have to. You know, you had a few people like Cordell Patterson that didn't show up, Casey Hayward, guys that Arthur Smith has already gone on record saying did not come, but he's expecting everybody to be at the mandatory mini camp next week, and we shall see how things go there. But this is a guy that filled in pretty nicely for A.J. Green that missed that season in 2019, had 575 yards, of course, only one touchdown, and it always behooves me with a guy his size and as tall as he is, why he was not able to take advantage and get more touchdowns in the red zone. That's just the same question we asked about Kyle Pitts. Had 1,000 yards, but one touchdown. Hopefully that changes this year. If Auden Tate is able to make it on this team in a now crowded wide receiver room that looked very pedestrian leading into the offseason, man, that thing is full now. We added another guy in Cameron Batman, who formerly of the Tennessee Titans, knows what Arthur Smith wants, been in his system before, so he's going to be very familiar and has had some connection with Marcus Mariota. They are making sure they're bringing in guys that can make these quarterbacks very comfortable. But man, if we can get something out of those three guys, I would be happy, and that could bode well for the Atlanta Falcons. Now, I don't have much to say because I just wanted to come out and do this video. There is one more guy, though, that I do want to talk about that nobody's talking about. Now, I've mentioned this at least a couple of times on other shows that we previously did together, me and JR, and this guy, Vincent Taylor. I don't know why people are not talking about him. Maybe they feel like he hadn't made enough flashes for them to even know anything about what he's capable of doing. But I believe in 2018, this guy had a pretty decent season for the Miami Dolphins when he was with them. And if we can get that version next to Grady Jarrett, boy, you talking about somebody who's going to be able to eat, having a guy like Vincent Taylor. Now, Vincent Taylor is rehabbing right now. This is a guy that did miss a lot of the seasons when he did sign with the Texans in 2021. So he's rehabbing from some ailments, things that have prevented him from playing last season. But this guy can be very disruptive when he is in a game and he is fully healthy. Him out there with Anthony Rush and being out there with Grady Jarrett, oh, that could be something, especially since we already got up-and-coming guys like Taquan Graham. We don't know what we're going to get out of Marlon Davidson yet because we hadn't really seen anything since the guy's been drafted. But Arthur Smith is definitely hoping for something from him as well. So let's hope we get something, especially when Arthur has gone on record saying we need to get more interior pass rush. So Dean Pease and his crew will be tasked with doing that, with Grady Jarrett being the leader of that group of guys on the inside when it's time. So other than that, hey, share with me who you looking at to get the best version out of. They had a good season from a year ago, 2 years ago, and they're now on the Atlanta Falcons, or they've been on the Atlanta Falcons, but you just haven't seen the best out of them that you would like to see. Share that down there in the comments. Also, continue to like the videos. All those things have helped us to have success here at Pound for Pound ATL. And we would not have been able to make them 5,000 subscribers without you guys. And as soon as we put that out there, we were 70 away, and we hit that quickly that weekend when we put out the video, our OTA video, man. So we thank you guys for subscribing to the videos. Continue to do that because we got more to come at you. Hey, shout out to Twisted Torch TV because I wasn't even gonna wear my Calvin Ridley jersey until I saw him do it on his video. So now I don't feel half as bad. Jumpman T, shout out to you and everybody else, all the other content creators that are out there. We love it when everybody is able to be a family. Extra Point, Smitty Sports Machine, who I saw his last video about the running backs, and he shouted at Pound for Pound ATL out, congratulated us. Big Low Country, all them guys who came in and showed their support on our celebration video. That's what we talk about. And we don't mind hanging and doing content with you guys that show love to us. That's all we ask for. We show love to you guys as well. Don't feel some kind of way because we don't watch a lot of other content creator videos because we try to keep as much of our thoughts to ourselves as we possibly can. But that doesn't mean every now and then I don't check in and see how you guys are doing and celebrate what you guys are doing, especially how well you guys are growing. So other than that, I'm gonna stop rambling on. It's Toby D, Pound for Pound ATL. Peace. I'm out.
Yeah, what does Marlon Davidson need to do to kind of take that next step as a player? Well, you know, what have you been looking for out of him?
Well, all those guys. No different when we ask Grady to replicate what he's done in the past. Can we continue to enhance Grady? Can we find other guys that can come in there and give us some internal pressure? So it's not just Marlon, it's the whole group. And there'll be opportunity everywhere. And like I said, we may have to get flexible about different packages, which Dean and Ted and Gary have done in the past, and Frank. So we're excited. All these guys have an opportunity, and Marlon knows what the expectation is, just as TQ Cram does or Nick Thurman. But the opportunity is there. We got to find more internal pass rush.